All right, everybody, welcome back to Greedo's Gold Mine, your most bipolar toy show on all the interwebs. And today we got a surprise. Walmart actually fulfilled something. You know, that's always a 50-50 to all my fans out there that are American collectors, and I believe Canadian collectors too. You have to deal with their traits sometimes of not fulfilling orders or all kinds of different problems. To all my fans outside the world, learn from the struggles of us North American collectors, I should say, when it comes to dealing with the joys of Walmart. You never know what you're going to get. You never even know when you're going to get it. It could be on time, it could be late, it could be never, it could be, I've had it where I have two addresses I use, and if it's not fulfilled in one warehouse, they'll mysteriously send it to the other location because it's there, everything. But out of nowhere, we got a Star Wars Black Series figure. Who did we get? Well, from the Ahsoka series, Baylan Skoll. I didn't get Baylan Skoll in the first go. Why? There's this like weird superstition I've developed as a collector where I've noticed, especially with the Disney Plus waves, let's say there's an Ahsoka. There's going to be a mainline Ahsoka and say character like Baylan or something, and there's going to be a Walmart or Target exclusive of some variety, and the exclusive, for some unbeknownst reason, has a cloak and is otherwise the same figure. Like complete. It's like they literally, for a cloak, is what it is. So we waited for a cloak on this guy, and sure enough, they did that. And I don't have the original to compare to, but I remember him having some scaling issues. We'll check that out compared to a couple people and make some conjectures on that. But let's check him out real quick in the box. We got the new Galaxy packaging, comes with this giant, massive lightsaber, a cloak, and otherwise Baylan Skoll. Really good likeness to Ray Stevenson on the head sculpt and face print. I like some of the detailing going on. You can't necessarily see through the window. We'll check it out. There's the side for everyone who does care about these things in box, and the back real quick. And we'll read it off. Allied to former magistrate of Caledon, Morgan Elsbeth, after the fall of the Empire, Baylan Skoll is a shrewd lightsaber welding mercenary for hire, overseeing his apprentice Shin Hati. So, without further ado, let's crack this box open and see what this particular exclusive from Star Wars The Black Series is all about. Actually, speaking of Ahsoka today, I saw a Thrawn in the wild, but I passed on it because my local Target, I don't believe, had the same sales going as online, so wasn't worth it. Especially being that I have it on pre-order, so should be coming soon, so you know, Thrawn. Here's the lightsaber. So, really cool. It's got the orangish hue to it as opposed to the pure red, because we know he's not exactly a Sith, right? Just a dark side user of the Force with some mystery still. He's locked into the plastic really good there. All right, so one thing that was really good about how they packaged them was the robe was completely internal to the inside plastic, so no chance of really snagging and ripping it, which is awesome. We're just gonna adjust him a little bit so that we can start checking out what's going on. Okay, so Baylan Skoll. Let's check out what we've got. So the likeness there, if we can get a good camera focus on it. There we go. To Ray Stevenson, as you see, is absolutely phenomenal. They did a really good job on the entire head sculpt and face print. Really good job throughout the hair, getting the different shades of gray very evenly into the really solid white beard. When it comes to other detailing that I really like going on here is if you look at the gauntlets, they have elements of this metallic teal to them as well as the charcoal gray. Same as on the lower boots and a little bit here on, if we move this up some. Actually, let's take that off. The chest armor and the shoulder pads themselves. This thing is detailed really well in terms of the figure itself. I really love the robe, what they got, the cloak. It's got an excellent hood. There's kind of this painted rim to it, and it gives it some actual texturing to where it sits down nicely, as you saw on the figure itself. We'll get that back on before we finish off here. But let's check out the articulation on this guy while he's off. So detailing is excellent, as we saw. So now what does he do? We've got the standard Black Series ankles. We've got the knee rotation, single jointed pinless knee. There is no, you can actually move the articulation quite well when it comes to the hip joint. It's a standard one, but there's no hip rotation. When it comes to the waist, it is a rocker waist. We have standard shoulder articulation. These shoulder pads really don't get in the way too much. You have single jointed pinless elbow with rotation, standard wrists, standard head with neck, two-piece articulation there. Really good figure, like I said. Now we just want to, last thing is get his lightsaber in his hand so that he's ready for battle. Actually, I did order the Peridia Ahsoka, but I have a feeling somewhere along the line I'll end up canceling that if they make a cloaked version. I do foresee that one coming somehow, some way. Trying to get both. Oh, he does also... No, I don't think he has butterfly joints. Yes, he does. I think he does have butterfly joints. Sorry, I missed that. Because you don't really see him the way there's an overlaid armor piece for his chest. That is actually not molded on. It's overlaid with a really good sort of almost leather texture to it. It's very well done when it comes to those minor details. So there we go. He's got his massive lightsaber in hand, ready to battle. And we can make him even more mysterious. Pop that cloak back over. This one actually comes off and on really easily, which I like. The only issue for me ever is with the certain autoimmune conditions I have. I'm always paranoid to snag these up with my hands if they're rough, but today we're doing all right. So there he is, Baylan Skoll, Mercenary. Star Wars Black Series, Walmart exclusive. This guy is actually pretty cool. And the last test, right, that we wanted to do before we go, let's grab a Black Series figure too off the shelf that we know should scale decently with this guy. What do we have? All right, Luke Skywalker. He's pretty close to an Ahsoka size. All right, so Baylan, compared to Luke, is significantly taller here, bulky body. So there is a high probability chance, although I cannot confirm for sure. Let's take him next to a Boba Fett and a Thrawn. This is the Thrawn from the animated, and he's about the same size as Thrawn, which kind of makes some sense. Okay. And yeah, he's a little taller than Boba Fett, a little bulky, same bulkiness to the body, one with and without armor. So yeah, I think they may have even gotten the scaling issues I've heard about from the first go fixed on this, which is pretty cool. So keep that in mind to all you Black Series collectors out there who are actually collecting some of the Ahsoka line. This is pretty much the only character besides Thrawn, Morgan Elsbeth, because I could use her in the Mandalorian lines too, and Ahsoka. We bought a couple of them maybe to make up for Rebels, but that one was one of the Disney Plus series where I could say Shinhati, I don't think I'll probably ever add to the collection, and a few others for sure. But this one was definitely interesting and worthwhile. I would recommend it, especially if it's still available at Walmart. You know how that can go, but they came through this time short of one little minor issue. I didn't really complain or get too hung up on because we at least showed up, right? But as usual, little minor shipping damage came in one of those bubblers instead of an actual box. But again, that's something that every American collector who's gotten a Walmart exclusive or two has experienced in their day, probably worse too. So as always, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. We always enjoy comments. Those are fun as hell to interact with, see what you guys are collecting, see what's going on in your little world of collecting toys, whatever, honestly. It's always just fun to have some kind, friendly interactions. And till the next one, wherever you are on this planet, thanks for tuning in as always, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, folks.